Class 10th. Now it's time to revise the syllabus which will come in your half-yearly examination. Though we had started Act 4 Scene 1, but Act 4 Scene 1 will not come in your half-yearly examination. We will complete the remaining part of Act 4 after half-yearly. Clear? You have been informed that Act 1, Act 2 and Act 3, all the scenes of these acts will come in your half-yearly examination. So in this video, in this class, we will do a short view or a short revision of all the scenes of Act 1 till to Act 3. Clear? Even I'll tell you the question paper pattern also, that in literature, both the paper pattern, that is literature also and language also. In literature, there will be 9 questions, and out of 9 questions, you will have to do only 5. Okay, the question paper is divided into 3 parts, 3 sections, that is section A, B and C. A, where drama questions will come, B means poetry, and C means short story, that is prose. Okay, three questions will be given from each book, okay, are being given from each book, and you will have to attempt at least 1 question from each section and 2 more questions of your choice. Clear? But if from every section you will have to do 1 question, that is very compulsory. Okay, from drama also, from treasure trove, that is poetry also, and from prose part also. Okay, so 5 questions in all. Okay, and the syllabus of treasure trove, that is poetry and prose, is also, I think you have come to know about it. Okay, so go through them and go through each part of your chapter, and do from dialogues to dialogues. It should be known to you that what the extract says, okay, and each and everything you will have to learn. Okay, in the same way in language also, though we do not have much time now, because only till this video only we will be able to tell you. After this you will be given preparation leave. Okay, so in language also you will have to attempt all the questions. First question always comes of composition, that is of 300 to 350 words, and according to the words limit you will have to do that part. Okay, picture composition will also be one of the parts of that question. Then question 2 comes of letter, formal letter or informal letter, that is very compulsory to do. Either you have to choose one among between this formal and informal. Then question 3 comes of what? That is email. It has 2 parts, one is email, one is notice. Okay, and both are compulsory to do. Then question number 4 comes of what? That is comprehension, unseen passage. Okay, unseen passage. And the last question comes of 20 marks, that is of which I have told you in the beginning. Okay, when I was telling you about the transformation of sentences and all, at that time I told you about the structural grammar, that is of 20 marks. Okay, which all the structural grammar, functional grammar will come, that is of 20 marks. So please, when you will be given the question paper, you will have to see each and every part and don't leave any part. So here we can do, in this class we can do a short revision of Merchant of Venice and all the acts, because poetry you feel better, and in prose also it will be the prose is also easier for you to do, but you find very problem or very difficulty in understanding, that is Merchant of Venice. So without wasting, let's have a short view or a short revision of that is Act 1, Act 2 and Act 3. Clear? Now class 10th, let us revise all the acts, short view of all the acts. Okay, and it's better whenever you revise it from Merchant of Venice workbook, because the summary is also given and from where the paraphrase is also given there, and you can come to know the some of the explanations of some of the dialogues also. Now what's the gist of the play in Act 1 Scene 1? Actually that is Antonio. He is the great merchant of Venice. He is sad, and his friends suggest various possible causes for his anxiety. Antonio meets Bassanio, who tells of his love for Portia, a rich heiress, but he himself has no money to woo her. Okay, Antonio too has no fund, but he promises to help him by borrowing money from the money lender. So this we found in scene 1 of Act 1. Even we had observed the conversation of Salarino, who were they both were worrying for the melancholy nature of Antonio. And on the other side, Cristiano also tried to cheer him up and given many of the examples. Okay, now in scene 2 we found that Portia and Nerissa talks about the test which Portia's suitors must go through. Some of them, after hearing the conditions, they left. Okay, the two ladies make fun of them to show their dislike. They remember Bassanio as the only one who has won their appreciation. While they are talking about Bassanio, the arrival of Prince of Morocco is announced by the forerunner. Forerunner means the messenger. And in scene 3 Act 1 we found that Shylock hates Antonio and vice versa. Vice versa means even Antonio hates Shylock. The Jew reminds the latter of his insults in the past which he had done in the public place. However, he agrees to lend the money, but he asks for a pound of flesh from Antonio bosom if he fails to repay the sum in 3 months. That is 3,000 ducats in 3 months. Okay. Now come to Act 2 Scene 1. We have observed that Prince of Morocco wants to marry Portia. He requests Portia not to dislike him for his dark color, and she warns him of the penalty he must pay if he makes the wrong choice. There were 3 conditions. First, if the suitor will not be able to choose the correct casket, then he has to leave that place, leave Venice as soon as possible. Secondly, he cannot disclose to another suitors or any one of the person that which casket he has chosen. And the third is that he all through his lifetime, during his lifetime, he cannot woo any lady in regards of marriage. Okay, now come to Scene 2. Lancelot Gobbo, Shylock's servant, is wondering whether he ought to run away from his master. Master is Jew. His father comes in search of his son. He is near blind and cannot recognize his own son. Lancelot plays a cruel trick on him. Old Gobbo asks Bassanio for his son's employment. Bassanio agrees. Gratiano wants to go to Belmont with his friend Bassanio. He agrees but warns him that he must behave properly. He must behave properly. Then in scene 3 we have found that Lancelot says goodbye to Shylock's daughter Jessica. They were good friends, who is sorry to see him go, and he gives a letter to him to be delivered to Lorenzo, her lover. Then come in scene 4, we found that Bassanio's friend have planned a mask party to amuse the guest. At dinner time, Lorenzo receives Jessica's letter and explains to the audience how they are going to elope. Elope means to run away. Then in scene 5, we have found that Shylock instructs Jessica to look up the house carefully as he is going out for supper, though he does not want to go, but still he wants to go to see what the Christians do. He gives a lot of advice to her daughter. Then in scene 6, we have found that Lorenzo and his friends meet outside Shylock's house. Jessica, dressed as a boy, but ashamed of her dress, appears on the balcony. She brings with her the casket full of gold jewelry and ducats. Then in scene 7, Prince of Morocco comes to choose his fortune. Okay, and he reads aloud the inscription and tries to understand the meaning. At last he chooses the gold casket and leaves heartbroken because it was. Then in scene 8, Salarino and Salanio discuss the whereabouts of Lorenzo and Jessica. Shylock has become mad after losing his daughter as well as money. There is bad news for Antonio that his ships have been destroyed. Okay. Then in scene 9, the Prince of Aragon is to make his choice of casket. He meditates on what he deserves before he opens the silver casket. He reads the scroll and he is a fool and leaves disheartened. Just then news is brought that Bassanio is coming to Belmont. Then in Act 3, Scene 1, Salarino has heard that Antonio's ship has been grounded. Shylock is happy at the news and threatens to punish Antonio as he has got a chance to take revenge from Antonio. He also suffers a terrible pain over his daughter's betrayal as his daughter had run away eloped with Lorenzo. But he and Tubal discuss how to nail Antonio down, how to take revenge from Antonio. Then in scene 2, Act 3, Bassanio comes to make his choice. Portia does not want him to take the risk at once, so she wants him to wait for some more time. He does not agree. He meditates aloud on the difference between appearance and reality. He chooses the lead casket and wins Portia. Gratiano also declares his marriage plan with Nerissa at his happy juncture. That is, Lorenzo, Jessica and Salarino appear with a letter from Antonio. And the merchant is now in Shylock's power as 3 months have gone by and not the ship of his has returned. So he has to give 1 pound of flesh to Shylock. Now in scene 3, Act 3, what we have found that Antonio has been arrested, okay, and taken to prison. The jailer brings him out on seeing Shylock to plead with the letter. Shylock rebukes the jailer, threatens Antonio, but the merchant is patient. He is ready to give 3,000. He is ready to give his penalty, that is a pound of flesh. Then in scene 4, we have observed that Portia asks Lorenzo and Jessica to look after her house until she and Nerissa return. They are actually going to Venice and plan to dress as men to play a trick on their husbands. And in scene 5, we have found that Lancelot teases Jessica about her Jewish religion. Her husband joins in the fun. So children, this all I have given you a very short view, which is not enough, though the syllabus is very fast and I was able to give only the revision to take the revision of Merchant of Venice. That is also not quite completed. So you have to go through Treasure Trove poetry portion as well as the short stories also according to your syllabus, which you might have received so far. So you just read all the stories, okay, and underline the main points also, and discuss and try to know the meaning of it also. And unless you read the whole chapter, you will not be able to come to know from which lesson, from which paragraph the extract has come. So in order to get the accurate answer, you have to go through each chapter. Okay, and as I have told you that 9 questions will come. Out of that 9 questions, you will have to attempt 5 questions, one from each section and any 2 questions from any